broadcasting live from an undisclosed location in the universe. Welcome to Iggy Garcia Live, the show where metaphysics, holistic living, motivation, and inspiration come together to empower your mind, body, and soul. We will dive deep into the realms of metaphysical wisdom, exploring the fascinating connections between mind and matter. Get ready to ignite your inner spark and embrace a journey of self-discovery. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
Just trying to do some things here real quick. All right. So, good morning to everybody. Iggy Garcia Live. It's been a while. It's not been a while. Just kind of when you got to kind of get in the mood, when you do these shows. You can't just do them because you have to do them. You do them because you want to do them. And so that's kind of where I'm at today. So, like we start most of our shows, however we begin, we always honor those people on our show. We're always in ceremony, giving thanks. So we light a candle. This candle will burn throughout the show. As I prepare it here, so I'm just dipping it here. And then hold it like that. So today it's the red candle. The red candle is about love, energy, power, heat. Those are the positive aspects of the candle. And then on the other side, the negative part of it, depending how you look at it, it's anger, danger, warning, just these little things, reminders of why certain colors remind us or trigger us or used throughout society to represent certain things. So let's put this over here. This is kind of like my timer too, so it'll be doing its thing. Very good. Now, gotta kind of move the energy a little bit and burn a little sage. This is actually white sage. It's ceremonial sage. It's from out west, actually, but it's actually grown here in Columbus, Ohio, in my backyard. I want to thank my ancestors. I want to thank those who trailblazed the path for my family and my, my close-knit family, my personal tribe, my little group, to give thanks to my mom, my dad, my grandma, grandpa, everybody who, those 7 generations deep, and they go deep and go out. I want to thank you all for being part of my life and being thankful for that. So I give thanks to the ancestors. Thank you, ancestors, for being there with me, guiding me as we move through this world, trying to find our way, trying to find the directions that we need to go and the directions we have to be in. So I hope everybody's doing well. It's been a while since I've been on here. In the beginning of the actually, it's kind of in the middle of the month. I usually do a show in the beginning, but so much has happened just in the last several months that, and just this month, just with everything that's going on in the world is a really hotbed right now of conflictions and, ideologies, beliefs, and things that come together in people's thinking about it. And, there's just so much right now. We're so inundated with what's happening in the world and what's going on in the world that sometimes we don't even know how to think or how to feel about things. We become silent, we become quiet because part of us doesn't want to engage or move the ship a certain way or cause people to feel a certain way or whatever. But a lot of it's because we don't know and we don't understand. So that's likelihood, sometimes best policy is to be the observer and watch and see how it plays out and see how it goes. Because it's easy to jump on something and not understand what you're jumping on. And so eventually you'll have to make your own decision of how you see the world and how you live in the world. And that's why this show today is about who am I? Who am I? Who are we? Who are we as a species? Who are we as people? When it comes down to it, we're all from source energy. Wanting to believe it or not, we come from the same goo. We come from that same cosmic spark. What happens after that? Well, that's a whole different story and a whole different show. But who are we? I mean, in the text of it, who are you? Have you ever examined that? I mean, some people think they do and some people think they don't. But have you really examined who you are as a human being and what that means to be human? What it means to be you? The person whose name Iggy or Ignacio Nacho or, Suzanne, Milano, Dante. What does that mean? The association about someone's name. What does that mean? What's that topic? What's that feeling? Who am I? Throughout history, people have probably been asking the same question. Who am I? What's my purpose? What are you supposed to be doing? But life is full of multiple purposes, not just one purpose and one goal and one desire. Because once you reach that one goal and one desire, then you have to be ready to go on to the next one. But a lot of us, we reach that pinnacle and we get to that place, and sometimes we either arrive or we don't arrive. But either way, it happens. So I encourage you to ask yourself, what is your part in all this? What is your part in the world? What is your gift to the world? A lot of people don't feel they're gifted, and a lot of people just feel like they're just cruising through life, and a lot of us are. And life is full of moments versus the past or the future, because neither one is obtainable after it's gone or once we get there, or just the idea. The past, we can't grasp it, we can't hold it. It cannot be absorbed except into our mental processes of what we think we felt and how we felt. You could never even retell the story of how you felt in that moment. You just have feelings of what were, the triggers and the things that happened to you, and the things that you found joyful and the things that you found fun, or the things that you found very traumatic. But regardless, that's where you're at. That's where we're at. The future is just an unpredictable, set of circumstances that lead us up into the present moment. You take a right turn or a left turn, and your life's different. Your life goes in a different direction. So, who am I? Who are you? Are you the words that spew out of your mouth because you believe it, or are they the words that somebody else, projected onto you? So many of us have words projected onto us, and so many people either take it or they don't. I hear it all the time. Oh yeah, you do this magic, you do this great stuff, and people, love what you do, and and they think that you're amazing, and yet, as you're doing the work, you're going, I'm amazing. In what way am I amazing? What am I doing? It's because you're being yourself, and you're being as authentic and genuine as you can possibly be. Because sometimes you can't be anybody else but yourself. And the version of yourself is a compilation of all the people and all the ideas and all the beliefs that you've created, and all the things that you absorbed into your being that you thought were going to help you, resonate with you, take care of you, and put you in a state of mind, to help you out. But the thing, what happens is, as we get older, as a child, we're innocent. We're like a blank canvas. And we learn very quickly, very fast. Children learn really fast and very quick. I know this for a fact because, I have kids, I have grandkids, and I see them, and I see their lives as they progress through their little moments of learning what the world's about. I'm a firm believer that everybody has purpose on this planet. Everybody. I mean, every human being has purpose. Every human being has something to share, something to give. You may not believe that. You may not understand what that means. But those of us who come into this world have an opportunity to change this world. It only takes one person to catapult us in many directions, and to put us in different places that we need to go or don't want to go, or we do go because we feel like we have no choices. The worst thing for a human being is to feel they have no choice, to have no free will. You know, when you look at your life, you're going, these are my choices. You know, so where's the free will there? I mean, it's not really your choice. It's somebody else's dictation of how you're going to move through life and society. So the society dictates what your choices of free will are going to be. Within that process of living life and experiencing life, there are things that are put before us that we have to make decisions on, because that's what we agreed on. That's what society has moved into that direction to do. Which is really a bunch of shit, a bunch of crap. You know, when we give our power away to other people, we give our power away to institutions, to political parties, to ideologies, religions, and all these different things in order for us to be okay, to be taken care of. But then we give away parts of our self to other people, you know, because we think they have a better way of understanding or representing us. And then that's what happens. Then what happens? You have severed a piece of your free will away to somebody else. You've given them the decision and the right to make decisions for you. Sure, we can vote. Yeah, sure, we can make all these other things. But when we put our representatives, or we put anybody in a position of authority, they become the person who makes the decisions for us. So in religion, politics, as we all play a part of that or not, it doesn't matter if you play a part in it or not. You know, the issue is, but we're really not free when you think about it. We're really not free in the sense of that we can just do whatever we want. No, we just can't do whatever we want. There are people who do whatever they want, and they have consequences for that. But society's created parameters. So when I'm talking about who am I, who are you in the crux of all these agendas and all these political parties, all these belief systems? How do you fit in? What's your part? Is it just to serve and to worship and say, oh, okay, cool, I'm, you know, or are you a person who's going to make a difference in that situation? Or are you happy where you're at and just being a person who follows along? So free will is very questionable about your free will. It's very questionable about who gets to decide for you and dictate for you the decisions that you may not want. You know, anytime we vote on things, anytime we decide and make decisions, there's going to be a whole another segment of people who are going to be disappointed. And there's going to be a whole another segment of people who are going to be emulated, you know, going to be happy and superly, you know, excited about it. But then these people here are upset and these people are happy. So who, and in that moment, who gets to decide what's best for everybody? Well, it's because of the majority rules, right? Majority vote, majority decides that for everybody, this is the way it should go. If not, there would be chaos and we would all suffer and we'd all die and we would just go crazy because we can't live any other way, because the system that's been put before us has decided that if we don't do it this way, then there's going to be anarchy. And if there's anarchy, there's fascism, and there's all these slew of things. We've even been brainwashed to believe that two parties is enough for us, because if we had more than that, then that just creates a whole slew of stuff. It's like two teams playing soccer each week, and you never play another team, and you never really truly improve, because you never get better, because by the time you play, you know each other, you congregate together, and you learn from each other. One day you win, next day you win, the next time you win a lot of games, and the next time you win, you know, part of the games. And then you throw in a dark horse, boom, you throw someone in there who's not part of the group or part of this little clique, and it's like, oh my God, what happened? These guys are trying to change the world. They're trying to change everything that we believe in, we stand for. You know, I'm a big firm believer that we should have at least four political parties in this country. 30 and 20, maybe that's too many. I don't know. I'm projecting now. But two parties is like, you know, the right wing and left wing of the same bird. It's my analogy of soccer or any sport event. It's like going to watch the Cavaliers just play the Boston Celtics every week. At some point, yeah, it's fun in the beginning, but eventually you're like, can we play somebody else? Can we put another team in here? Because this is kind of getting old, you know? But that's what I'm saying. Who are you in the scheme of the world? Have you ever asked yourself, who are you? I mean, what is your mission? What is your goal in life? What is your desires? What would you like to see happen? There's a lot of people in the world whose free will has been dictated and taken away from them because they've given away themselves in that process. So my understanding is this. Yes, we have free will. We have the decision to make decisions for our personal gain or whatever. But the collective free will, the collective mind, when did we give that away? Was it when the man, or when our ancestors first stood up on two legs and started to walk and began to hunt and eat meat, and their brains got larger and bigger and started to think? Because we were vulnerable creatures, we were vulnerable because we were the predator's food. You know, it's really interesting when you think about it. Where do we go from here? I mean, what happens next? Because when you look at the world right now, it's one big crazy thing. You know, it's really, there's a lot happening right now. And it's all based on decisions that were made by other people way before us. Way before. And these decisions have manifested themselves forward through time. Can we do anything about the past? No, we cannot do anything about the past. The only thing we can do is move forward into the present moment and decide where we want to be and what we're going to do better. But we keep making the same errors and the same mistakes, thinking that it's going to correct the problem. And it doesn't correct the problem. When you look at things, we have so many things happening, and we're trying to solve them with the same result, the same way, the same fist. You know, it doesn't matter who has the fist, it's still a fist. And we're trying to force systems to work that don't work. You know, sometimes we may have to scrap the whole playbook and rewrite the playbook. But we can't do that. Oh no, we can't do that, because if we do that, then we're not good citizens. You know, I'm not trying to say that we have to start a revolution or a coup, but we have to speak up. We have to voice our opinion. We have to voice what we feel. We've given away our power to so many entities, so many organizations, so many belief systems, so many ideologies throughout our lives that, you know, we become very numb at some point. Some of us, not all of us, that some of us become very numb. We become very cold, and the precision decisions that we try to make are not that way. Now, is this country one of the best countries in the world? Well, there's a lot of best countries in the world. But this is one country for a lot of people that's all they know. And they'll never leave this country. They've never been outside this country. And probably don't care to leave this country. So we have to have an open mind and understand that not everybody thinks like us. You know, not everybody believes in the things we do. You know, the world has come a long way, but it's also digressed and not grown either in certain aspects. You know, you come to the U.S., you come to, you know, here, and you have amenities that you don't have in other parts of the world. Clean water, you know, sanitation. You have things that us, who am I, take for granted sometimes. That all we got to do is put our trash can out in the morning. And the only thing we worry about, you know, put it in a bag, make sure it's all recycled, make sure it's all put in a certain order. Because that's where we're at here in this country. We're, you know, conditioned to live a certain standard of life here. And most people are okay with that. There's parts of it I'm okay with, and there's parts that I'm not okay with, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Because in the end, whatever I decide to do, you know, is going to be trumped by somebody else's decision. Because that's how life is in a big populous country like the United States of America. So how do you find your own spiritual bliss, your place where you want to be, and be able to, you know, commune with spirit, commune with your higher self? You know, some of these words may be foreign to you, but higher self just means God, means upper version of ourselves. You know, I posted the other day, I am God. Of course I'm God. You're God. You hear people say, "Oh, I'm a goddess," you know, because we are a splinter of creation. We are a splinter of the Creator. Creator, he or she, when decided to explode and manifest, it scattered throughout the universe, and through the universe, things through time, and dedication and heat and friction, kind of like our red candle. That love, that energy, that power, that heat, that anger, that danger, that warning, that all just compiled, and from that soup we've came. And then there's a whole bunch of other people believe that that God blew into us and created us, and that's okay. That's where you are at. That's what you believe, and I'm not here to knock that. I'm just saying that we all have to make decisions in our lives, who we are and how we play a part in it. Law-abiding citizen, pay my taxes, and we do our things. That's great. But the thing is, we have to make sure that when we make our decisions, that we think about other people too. When you think about it, one of the most gifted spiritual being is a mom. She has the power to give life, to birth life. Men, we can't do that. So we have to remember the sacredness in motherhood, the sacredness of that creation, that base of creation. Because as God, we are creators. Through the manifestation of creation of the higher source, that power. We're getting too conflicted here in this country, personally, in my opinion, with labels and ideologies and beliefs that I remember growing up, nobody wanted to be labeled. Nobody wanted to be told that they were this or that. People wanted to be just themselves. And then here we have a whole slew of generation that wants to decide that, hey, we're going to label ourselves. You got to label me this way or label me that way. Okay, that's fine. But it's hard for us sometimes to think, okay, my apologies, because I didn't know that you were this way or that. I never encountered this. A lot of people, I don't know who's encountered. I mean, you turn on the news, people get encountering it. I personally never encountered it. And now I'm going to probably manifest it because I encountered it, because I'm talking about it. But we are creators. We're magical creators. We are powerful creators. Men and women, human beings. The opposite of the other. And it's not even about religion. It's just about how the biology of how we were created. Who am I? Who are we? As far as I care, you can be whoever you want and do whatever you want in the context that you honor and respect other people's belief systems that are not the same as yours. And that's where right now the world is kind of in a flux, that we're trumping out other people's decisions of what's best for them, because what's the other one says it's best for them is not good for you. And it's kind of a screwball thing right now. How do we honor ourselves? Well, we have to acknowledge who we are and how we feel, and not be combative and angry about it, but to be proud about it and to be happy about it, versus to be, because somebody else doesn't see us in the way that we see ourselves. Nobody will ever see you the way you see yourself. You probably don't even see yourself the way you probably think you see yourself. You probably look at yourself and you're going, and don't give yourself enough credit, and don't give yourself enough accolades, enough love to appreciate who you are as a human being. Why? Because somebody told you weren't good enough. Somebody says that you're not that. No, how can you be? You can't be that. When I watched an interview with Kanye West, and he was talking about, he's God. I'm God. And everybody's like, oh, you're not God. You can't be God. And they totally missed the boat. They totally missed what he was trying to say. They totally missed it. And he commented, well, okay, so I'm a gangster. I'm a pimp. I'm a rapper. And people are like, yeah, that's who you are. That's what you are. That's not who he is. That's what he does. There's a difference. There's a difference of who you are and what you is. What you do and who you are are not the same thing. Yeah, I'm a coach. Doesn't mean I'm a coach. I coach. I know how to coach. He knows how to rap. Is he a rapper? It doesn't make him a rapper. He's a rapper, a person who raps. I'm a human being who coaches. I'm a being who throws out ideas. But am I a coach? No, I'm a human first. Because if I'm not human first, I can't connect with you. If I try to connect with you, I'm the coach. I'm above you, so I know more than you. And that's kind of how a lot of people go. A lot of people live like that. And they're like, well, I have the knowledge and the base and the foundation. You know, in society, every day, there's a child born. Every day. Okay? There are more people who will not be alive than are alive. And those children who come into the world, some have to go through the process of struggle and learning, and we in some form or another. And then there are others that come into this world, not that their life is easier, not that their life is easy, but they get and they understand things at a much higher level and very quickly and very fast. And with that also brings a lot of push and pull from other people who are not at the same level. I do coach sports. I coach soccer, futsal, and I watch this play out with children. Some kids are naturally born to do certain things. But in that place, in that moment, and this is what I want you to hear, in that place, in that moment, what's happening is this one child can excel in this particular activity. But you take that child out and you put him in another activity, then the child who doesn't excel as well may be the person who excels at a much higher rate. Learn their gifts. Learn their gifts. We have to know where our gifts are, what we are. Just because you have a job that you took at some point in your life and you hate it, and you probably hate it because it's not your true calling that you wanted to do, but you took it because you needed to pay your bills. And there wasn't no opportunity to get the job that you truly wanted. So, what is your ideal life? And what is your ideal situation? And why can't you find that? Why won't you work that? Because sometimes when we want something in a certain way, and this is me projecting a little bit, sometimes we want things to be a certain way, but they can't be that way because just because I want it doesn't mean that necessarily I want to get it. I want $1 million. It doesn't just fall out of the sky. Because at some point, somebody had to create the wealth and create, the energy and the draw to bring that forth into the present moment. Now, the question is, are you capable to move that same energy forward into the next generation, to the next moment? A lot of us are not trained and not skilled to move certain energies forward. That's why you can give a lot of people a lot of money and they can blow it in 3 to 5 years, and all the wealthy people got their money back. That's why they're never really fearful about losing it, because they know how to get it back. The average person doesn't know how to get back the money or maintain it or keep it, because the first thing they're taught to do is, purchase, consume. Most people who gain a lot of money very quickly, very fast, they end up losing their money very quickly, very fast, because what? They don't have the discipline to begin with when they were poor or broke or just middle class. That's not all cases. That's the majority of cases, but a lot of cases are that way. The people who come into money lose it just as fast as they got it. But these people who dedicate and work hard in their own process of creating business for themselves, they create in their mental mind the things they would do that other people would not do or not willing to do. Most people who are in business will do things that other people will do. They will stay away from friends and work directly into the work they do because they know their friends could be a distraction. They work directly with their clients. Other people who are really wealthy, who don't have the personal skills, they hire other people to fill those gaps and those needs where they lack. It's very fascinating. Human psychology is very fascinating because everybody comes from their perspective. Everybody has their perspective. Everybody has their ideas. And as soon as you kill someone's idea, you've either created a friend or an enemy. Because people get butt hurt when you don't agree with them. And some people say they don't get hurt or upset with you. And some people are like, okay, I see it. You're right. You know, I didn't see it like that. I really appreciate that. Because they've given you another perspective. Who are you? Who am I? So when you're presenting yourself, are you being your true authentic self? When people talk to you, are you being you? Or are you being what they want you to be? Oh, hi, Mrs. Jones. How are you? You have to have, I understand you have to have a business persona and you have to present yourself in a certain way. But there's no reason why you can't be yourself in the process of doing the work. And we prejudge people every day. Don't think that you don't. Everybody is. I've prejudged people by accident. I made poor decisions about what I thought somebody was. Why? Because I'm a human being, because I'm flawed. I'm screwed up. I get that. And that makes it, that makes, for me personally, I don't know how it works for you, but for me, that helps me a lot to know that, I'm going to mess up. As long as I just don't mess up all the time, I'm going to mess up. And you know what? Sometimes I got to fix things that I messed up. And sometimes I can't fix the damn thing. Just leave it alone. Let it die. Let it sail away. This illusion that we have to get along with everybody in the world, that's an illusion. Not everybody gets along with me. Not everybody agrees with the things I talk about. Not everybody says, oh yeah, Iggy's right. And some people are like, oh yeah, Iggy, yeah, I get his point. I'm not here to be right or wrong. I'm just here to throw ideas out there and make you think about stuff in ways that you probably never thought about. I'm not saying you got to be a hater and hate everybody because you're antisocial and you don't want to be part of the world. You just want to go do your job. When I coach my kids, when I coach my sports in futsal, when I coach, this is something I taught my son. You practice and you will play how you practice. So however you've dedicated your practice, and I always tell the kids, you know what? This is just like your first job. If this is what you want, if you want a job. The job has requirements and things that it expects of you. And as it expects of you, you should improve and become better as you progress through it. Who are you in the scheme of all this? You are part of a team. You're part of the group. That doesn't mean you're a conformist. That means that you have to be able to know your position on a switch, know your position, what to do. We're not going to put you in a situation where you're going to flounder and sink, because that would be on the coach's fault. But life is the same way. In your jobs, you have a dedicated purpose in why you're there. You could be a server, you could be a bank teller, you can be, the taxation department, you can be the IRS, you can be the president of the United States, I don't care. But know who you are in those processes, what you bring to the game. Are you just trying to float through the day? Because if you're trying to float through the day, that's going to make it really hard for you. It's going to make it hard for you because look for the beauty in the work that you do. There's beauty in anything. Numbers, creation, cooking, playing sports. You have to find the magic that's there. And I'll tell you, the magic there is you. You're the magic. You get to decide if you're going to be in a good frame of mind or a poor frame of mind. Remember, everybody every day has things that happens to them. Every day you wake up, it's either going to be a good day or a bad day. You're going to make the decision because something's going to either trigger you, if something's going to bother you, or something. You're just going to wake up and say, hey, it's a great day. I'm happy and I'm moving in the right direction. And this is amazing and this is awesome. I'm not saying you have to be happy-go-lucky every day. But if you're wondering why things aren't working, it's because you're not asking who you are in the process of things. Who are you? Who are you? Who am I? Who am I to say? Who am I to say? Who am I to be? So when we look for the things that we want to change in our life, we have to look into things that we need to change inside of our heart, inside of our spirit and our soul. Because things don't change because we're not a reflection of the things we see and the things we manifest, the things that we attract to our lives. If you're creating unhealthy relationships, then look at the relationships with yourself and how other people are involved with you. When you project out to the world, what do they see? You're teaching, every day you're teaching people how to treat you. Every day the world looks at you and goes, they either admire you, ignore you, or challenge you, or just don't have nothing to do with you. So I find it very interesting that sometimes we landlock ourselves into these situations just because we are not able to, what's the word I want to use? To have discernment of who we are and how we move through this world. But each day this is going to happen until the day we die. We're all born and we all die. Everything through those two, everything in between is ours to decide what we're going to do. You can blame the world why you're broke. You can blame the world why you're rich. You can blame everybody. You can blame. You can also encourage yourself. You can also push forward and say, hey, we're doing this. And for some people, it's harder to be in a positive frame of mind. It's hard for them to be in a place where they actually do better. It kind of blows my mind sometimes that, that we can't see ourselves in a better state of mind, a better state of being. If you change your thinking like they say, if we change our thinking about how we see ourselves out there, then people will see us in a light that they're going to say, okay, this guy, yeah, I get, this gal, I get it. So many people want people to love them and honor them and respect them for who they are and how they are. Okay? They will. They will. They do. I'm telling you. People treat you exactly how you teach them how to be, how you are. You teach people. You're a grand teacher. If you don't want to talk to anybody, what happens there? If you totally don't want to have anything to do with anybody, you just want to do your job and don't want to be bothered, what happens? No one bothers you, right? You're left alone. Nobody invites you anywhere. Nobody engages with you. And then the moment you get triggered by somebody, it's just a ball. It's just a total spiral sometimes. Life is a spiral. A lot of you are driving to work right now. And, a lot of you are going to work, driving to work, and you're thinking about all the things you want to do and all the places you want to be and all the people you want to be with. For a lot of wealthy people, every day is a weekend for them. And we work every day, most of us, to get to the weekend to enjoy 2 days of life. You work 8 hours, you give 8 hours of your life, and then you have 8 hours, maybe, to enjoy, and then you have 8 hours of sleep. Maybe. But most of us are giving 8 hours or more to other people to earn a check because they can pay us they can only pay us according to what they're going to benefit and profit off in their calculations of what they do. If they pay you, they have to sell so much product. They have to make so many loans. It's a numbers game. And right now we're watching a lot of this change in the world. Now we're watching, artificial intelligence. You ask artificial intelligence who they are. Who am I? Who are you? It'll give you an answer. It'll give you an answer for sure. It'll for sure give you an answer. If you have a chat GPT, I'll put it in my post today. I'll ask AI, who are you? And I'll see the mathematical calculation of it being a symbiotic system. All right, guys. I think I've talked enough, and I think I've given you a lot of stuff to think about, a lot of things to, ponder. And so I hope you enjoyed our little discussion as you're driving to work or you're waking up this morning, have your coffee. Just ask yourself, who are you? Who am I? Who am I? I live for the weekends. Live for every day. Enjoy every day. Have gratitude in the day of what has been presented to you. Because the day is amazing. The day is amazing when we make it amazing. I know it's hard for some people. It's hard for some people because, you know, they're so conditioned. We're all conditioned. Every single one of us. There's nobody on this planet who's not conditioned by somebody else or by other belief systems or no belief systems at all. Every human being is conditioned. There's not one of you who has not been conditioned or programmed to believe into something that you may or may not believe in or may want to be part of. But you're part of it because you believe that you have to participate in it, because if you don't participate in the part of the system, then you're violating the system and you're letting the system down because it's a right? Oh, it's my right, you know? But it's actually a privilege or a right, you know, wherever you're thinking. But so many of us go through life thinking that we're independently, oh, I'm free, you know, I'm free. Oh, yeah, I'm free, man. You're free to the extent of the 8 hours that you're given, or the day off you give, or the weekend you have. We're not free. Free is like if we can just jump off this planet and go somewhere else, that's freedom. You can't really just go wherever you want. You can't really just do whatever you want. Oh, but I can get my car and I can drive to Kings Island. I can go to Kings Island. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, we're like AI too. We're kind of trapped in this system we call it the Matrix. We're caught in the system of beliefs, of mazes, of ideas, and trying to find who created us, who the creator is. Then we pray, and then we manifest. We put our hands in the air and we give thanks to something that we can't see, but we know it's there. We know it's there, but the truth system is, the idea is like, okay, I'm going to go with faith that this is real. I'm going to go with faith this is true. But for a lot of us, it's difficult because we have to see it to believe it. But who are you in this world? Who are you? What do you want to do? What's your game plan? Or do you just want to ride the wave to the end of it until you die? Or do you want to see magical things and create magical things that you're at it? You know, right now the world is testing the boundary systems that we've created. What was once seen as to be honored and protected is now not that way. The things that we call demonic and evil are not that way. Everything has shifted for a lot of people. Not everybody. Some people hold on to their belief systems and ideologies, and that's okay. But consciousness is rising right now in ways that we cannot fathom. We think we understand, but we don't truly understand until much later in time. We are witness now to watch how the world is manifesting, creating things. We are bearing witness to consciousness, human consciousness awakening to old paradigms that don't no longer serve us. What we are failing to do is to see it in a way, and sometimes, sometimes we have to be destructive and tear it down. But then sometimes we have to give it love and honor and still yell and project a little bit and say, you know what, you're wrong. But, there's times where I get kind of like these ideas, these visions, and I see these things. It's kind of like when World War II, when the United States bombed Japan. That was another moment in time where human consciousness rose, where we woke up and said, whoa, what are we doing? And that's what's happening right now. We're waking up and going, whoa, what's happening? What's going on? We're seeing things that we don't agree with sometimes. For a lot of people are going, are we really doing this? Is humanity really going, are we going to do this? Why are we doing this? Is there no other way? But there's a lot of people who are landlocked in belief systems and ideologies. They want to manipulate and control and keep people in the same thinking, the same frame of mind, the same idealic belief systems, these old systems. They may have served us in a way. This is why man is destructive, because man can't flex, man can't bend. Man has this idea that if I don't, then I'll be punished for it. The system will collapse, and then what? You know, one of my shamanic classes, I asked people, I said, no prisons. We're not going to have prisons. It was tough for them. It was tough for them to think not having prisons, because I told them, do not try to implement the constructs that we have today in the prisons. What would it mean to not have prisons? What would humanity have to do or be to not have prisons? And there's no right or wrong answer. There's just a myriad of answers. You can look at it however you want. I didn't say it had to be nice or pretty. I just said there was no prisons. You can talk about rehabilitation. You can talk about corporal punishment. You can talk about. The idea is there's just no prisons. What would society do? Well, how would society react? How society would be if they knew their consequences would be a certain way? And for a lot of people, the consequences aren't enough, and they don't care. There's some people there are people on this planet who just don't care about anything or anyone. I want you to hear that, because this is a true reality. There are people on this planet who don't care about you, don't care about me. And there are people on this planet that you don't even know that you probably would care about if you knew about them. But a lot of us walk past homeless people. A lot of us walk past, people, and we say stupid remarks. And a lot of us, say, hey, I hope they do better. For the majority of us, we struggle, because when we look at another person suffering, we see ourselves in them. And we don't want to suffer like that. We never want to be homeless. You should just get a job. Maybe. And I'm not even talking about mental illness or why they're there, what their story is, why they collapse into the system that they're in. I'm not even talking about that. But here, that's the thing. That's the thing. Humanity does not like to see the ugly stuff. But from the ugly stuff comes the beautiful stuff. When you look at your garden, it's pretty barren. You drop the seeds in, you don't see anything for a few weeks or so. Then eventually you start to see the fight, the struggle, pushing through the ground. The plants start to move. They start to come up. They start to push through. And then what happens? Some of them make it, some of them don't. And the ones who make it, they bear fruit. And some of them who make it don't bear fruit. Because some of their jobs is not to bear fruit, but also to pollinate, to help. Some plants need other plants to pollinate, to co-create. And then that's not including all the pollinators that come in. When we look at life, everything has its purpose. Sometimes humanity steps outside of the purpose because it doesn't want to be controlled and manipulated. But yet they control and manipulate each other. Humans do that. We control and manipulate ourselves into things. Why? I don't know. It's because somebody had a great idea, and that great idea worked in that moment, and that great idea created infrastructure, and that great idea created a whole bunch of stuff. The system that we have today eventually will collapse, because it all collapses. It's designed to collapse. It's designed to collapse so the next power group, the next Powerball group, the next group that comes in can take over and say, we're going to fix this for you. You just keep shopping. You go buy the cereal boxes that we want you to buy. You buy the sodas we want you to buy. Oh, here's the bread you want to buy. Unless you make the stuff yourself, you're buying the stuff that they want you to buy. Where's the free will in there? Oh, the free will is I can choose Wonder Bread or I can choose Kroger brand. Well, that's some free will there, damn it. Like, I had a really good choice there. But our lives, we have people deciding our lives every single day. What they're going to do for us. What's best for us. And as human beings, we just go, okay. It makes my life easier. I don't have to think about it. The thing is, we don't push and we don't make the people, most of the time, who we vote for accountable to us. If we made them accountable to us, but not re-electing them again, but we keep re-electing them for some damn reason, then the same things happen over and over. Oh, he's too young. Oh, that guy's inexperienced. Most politicians, before they were anything, they had no experience. Sometimes it's better to bring someone green in with beautiful ideas. And of course, I'm sure they get corrupted by the time they get into the system. The system's, oh no, we can't do that. You can't do that. Most of these suckers go into office, they're broke, and they come out multimillionaires. Just saying. I don't know. I know I go to my job, I don't come back out multimillionaire. I mean, do you guys go in your job and come back out multimillionaire? Some of you might, but I'll tell you, the majority of us don't. The majority of us have a calendar on our refrigerator going, what's today, Wednesday? No, Tuesday. Oh, tomorrow's trash pickup day. I'll put the trash out tomorrow. I'll put it out at night. Oh, I got to 6 a.m. I got to put it out, okay. And then some of us are like, I'm just fed up with the day. I'm just going to put on some Netflix. Okay. And some of us go to bed watching the news and putting that negative thought into our mind. Not all news is negative, but the news has been negative lately because just of all that's going on in the world. It's going on in the Middle East and all that stuff. And that's a whole other topic in itself, which kind of leads into this stuff. We'll talk about it sooner or later at some point as things make themselves clear. Because right now things are really disturbing. And the world is divided. Because the world loves to be divided. The world loves to pick a team. You got to pick a side. No one ever thinks that one side and the other side might have good ideas or not. But we can't like these people because they're a certain way or that certain way. We do that here in this world. We do this here. Oh, I'm a Browns fan. Oh, man, you must love losing all the time. Oh, I'm a Bengal. Oh, whatever. You lost how many Super Bowls? It's just, we're part of something. And that's what humans do. They like being part of things. They like to be in that little nick, that crevice of things. I belong. Even though you may not see me, I belong. I'm cheering for you. I don't talk a lot about politics here on my shows, but sometimes I throw it in from time to time. We don't get to choose what we truly want in a political leader if the political leaders are incompetent or not to our standard. Nothing's going to change until the next 4 years is gone. You'll see great change after this cycle. We have to go through this cycle. I hate to say that. But this cycle right now, como dice, no bueno. Find the beauty in this cycle, because it's there. Don't get hung up and don't get mad and upset because it doesn't go your way. Embrace the things that you can pull from it and the things you can find and make it better. Because I'll tell you, life will be much easier knowing that in that cycle, in that moment, that you'll find those pieces and parts that are valuable. But if you're looking for things that are negative, you will find them all day long. You can find everything negative about me all day long. You can find negative things about anybody. Can you find the positive attributes and the things that will help us? the things that maybe the political leaders have done. Because they're there. They're there because 5 crap things they do one thing right. And it's there. But we don't see it because we would rather think about the 5 crap things in the one good thing that came from that. Sometimes the one good thing that came out of the 5 crapper and flushed down the toilet things is probably a good idea that went down the toilet. Because then the next person come in and go, okay, this is all we need to tweak. We just need to tweak this. Why didn't they just see that? Because they didn't see it. Because they didn't have the vision to see it. But sometimes that one thing that manifests and creates, and that one little thing, that little nugget, the most little powerful nugget, is right there. It's right there. Do we want to see it? Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Who am I? Well, it's a loaded question, isn't it? Who are you? Who are you? I think I know who I am. I have an idea how I see myself in the mirror. But it doesn't matter how I see myself. It doesn't matter how I look at myself. It only matters to me how I believe in my heart what I am. But people will always see another human being the way they project upon them. The beliefs and ideas that they want, and the qualities they're looking for in people they want to be around, or friends they want to have. I'm not saying you have to monitor your emotions, your feelings, and how you act. But people usually find connection because like energies attract, meaning the similarities, similar things pull people together. And then things that don't resonate pull them apart. Because we're all one in the Creator's mind. We're all the children. We're all the pieces. We're the spark. In the universe. We're that one divine spark. Once your spark is gone, it gets remanifested, recollected, or it goes to heaven, whatever you believe in. But something does happen. We do continue. You may become part of the ground. You may be part of the universe. You may go to heaven. You may reincarnate, depending what your beliefs is. I really truly believe your creating mind never stops creating. I think you'll be creating until eternity. You'll be creating. And for some people that might be exhausting and tiring, but it doesn't have to be. So my message for you is today, just go out, be the best version of yourself in this moment. Because you can't control the past because it's gone. It's done. It doesn't matter how traumatic and how bad it was. It's gone, but the memories are filed cabinet in your brain. The future, you can project into the future, but the future's not here. But once you arrive to the future, whatever that is, you're in the present moment. So as soon as I go to the future, I'm here. What I can't really do is go back there. I can draw the energies I think I felt in that moment, or the energies I feel, and put them here and relive it in a way that's different. But I'm trying to relive it. But back here, you can't even tell me what you did 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, but it's the trauma. That's why I call it trauma. But here in the future, that's what I'm saying. Everything in the middle. You were born over here. You were born. That's a gimme, because you're here. The future is one day you will depart. You just don't know when you're going to depart. And it may not be good to your best interest to know, because you will live life in a weird way. Sometimes life is the unexpected. Life is so unpredictable. We wake up, things look great. We get home, things are so great. Sometimes we wake up, we have a fender bender. Boom. Did we see it coming? No. Some of us will leave and never come home. And this is true reality. So be kind to yourself. Be kind to the people you love. Just acknowledge them. Just say, hey man, I love you. And if that's all you have to say, that's all. But life is a beautiful, beautiful journey. While you're journeying, enjoy the journey. You'll find destinations along the way where you'll stop and create memories and ideas and beliefs, people, friends. As you continue through the journey and hit these other destinations, you will say goodbye to friends. You will say goodbye to people you love. Never forget them. As you continue through your journey, hit other destinations. Some people get married, some people get divorced, some people find lovers, and some people move on. Some people have children. Some people lose children. I mean, everybody has a book in them. Every single person. Everybody has a book. Sometimes the book is written for you and for your family. It doesn't have to be a book for the world. But everybody has a book. And sometimes the book takes on a life of its own. And that book creates the connection that sometimes we lack with people in our lives. So many of us have siblings that we don't get along with or we don't talk to. I'm the same way, which is kind of sad. You all come from the same, you're all from the same breed. You're from the mom, You're all from your mother, your father. But yet you're so different and so unique in your own way. This is proof that you're a magical gift, because if you all came from the same place, it would be different. That's why for me, creator and creation is more than just one entity being. There's just too many variables. There's just too many feelings that I have and I feel sometimes. But anyway, my friends, you have a beautiful rest of your day. Enjoy your time, the people you love. And I will catch up with you later. Thank you for tuning in to Iggy Garcia Live. I hope you enjoyed the show today. It's good to be here. I'll be at the Reiki Center drumming on the 18th of November at 7 p.m. So join us for a drum circle. You'll have fun. If you have not been to drum circle, it's an amazing time. Create some beats and rhythms. With that, I just want to say, Ho'oponopono, Mataku Yasin. What is above is below. Thank you, for Great Spirit. Thank you. Thank you, ancestors, for everything tonight. Thank you, everybody, for being here with me and sharing time with me. Sometimes the Spirit hits you in some weird, awkward moments. And I felt like I had to share with you today what was on my heart. So remember, who are you? Who am I? It's yet to be determined. Always unfolding. Peace and love. Take care, my friends. I'll talk to you soon.